Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, David. Morning, Patrick. Morning, George, Francois, Harry, Alan, Arturo, Lee. Good morning. Today's the 3rd. Happy second half. Anyway, we have a holiday week in the U.S. We've got an early close in the markets, and it's a weird one. There's not many of these weird weeks where it's like half the people are celebrating 4th of July on the weekend, and the rest of us kind of, all the real festivities are tomorrow, but today is like a regular work day for most of us. And I don't know. Early close in the markets. I'll be here all day. We have crypto moving nonstop. I will do a crypto special, one of these, tomorrow morning. So come check it out. I'll be here. If crypto just doesn't interest you, well, it's the same price patterns. So maybe you learn something, maybe you don't. And even if you aren't interested in crypto, I dive into some of the details that might affect the real stock market. So the real stock market, the broader stock market. I guess crypto is not stocks, so, but some of it does trade on the stock market. Anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here, intended to be informational, educational, and fun, is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. Don't buy anything from anybody that's a guru. Most of us are full of crap, me included. And if you desire personal financial advice, which, that person may also be full of crap, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor who has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation. So, where are we with the markets? And what do we got coming up this week? I need to hit this thing and... yeah, the calendar wasn't even loaded. All right, so this week, Sunday, nothing for the U.S. Monday, we've got some ISM coming out at 10 a.m. right there. Manufacturing PMI. That could be a little bit of a market mover, actually. So we'll see what that happens there. If you start seeing the numbers moving fast, 10 o'clock, right there it is. It's reaction to the PMI or catalyst to the PMI, whatever you want. It's the bots reacting to the PMI, and they may not do what you think they're going to do. So then we have all day holiday tomorrow, bank holiday. And, it's a funny thing. So the equities futures closed today at 1 o'clock. All the rest of the futures, all the other things, they have a regular close today. They reopen at 6 p.m. Equities reopen at 6 p.m. Everything trades till 1 p.m. tomorrow. Everything closes. Everything, like all the futures. And then everything reopens tomorrow at 6 p.m. and we go. So that makes for a really weird situation. And if you weren't aware, that's the plan. So I don't know. We have OPEC meetings all day on Wednesday. We have FOMC minutes hitting at 2 p.m. along with Fed Speaker Waller at 4 p.m. right after the close or right at the close. Then Thursday, we have non-farm employment change coming out at 8:15. We have unemployment claims coming out at 8:30. And then we have services PMI and JOLTS job openings coming out at 10 o'clock on Thursday. And Friday, we have our average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate all coming out on Friday. So the week is kind of devoid of earnings, really. So it's all we're just going to float along. Maybe the bots react to these news items. Maybe they don't. Morning, Kimberly, Al, Tim, Angie. Morning. Glad to have everybody on the stream. Now, if you want to chat with me like all the people so far, including my lovely wife, all you got to do is be a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button. A few seconds later, the chat should come alive for you while I'm live. If you're watching this again later, after I'm no longer live, then you've got to leave a comment, and I will get back to you just as soon as I can. Or you can hit the link in hit the link in the description for Discord, which all you got to do is be a customer, a client. I have like the market roadmap deal down there, $5, 3 months. You get a watch list and some videos and some instruction. And you know what? You get to come in Discord and chat with us. So all that available for like $5. But remember, don't buy anything. I may be full of crap. So, all right. moving on. Moving on. That was the calendar for the week, and I don't know. S&P 500 broke out a little bit. Oh, let's look at this here. So look at this. Friday, we broke above. This kind of sets the path for the next fib level. 45.99 on the S&P. This is based on the close as a simplified chart. This kind of sets the bias. This was the might happen scenario, and now it might happen that we rally right up to 4,600. That would be above the levels that I'm looking for if we turn down bearish. So this can be like the uber bullish setup. We can pop up here and retrace right back to where we are now and set some kind of record for the longest bull run we've ever had. Statistically, we get a 3% plus pullback in the S&P 500 every 47 days on average, every 38 days by the median. So just keep it in mind that we are due a pullback. This is dangerous. Missing out a little bit here. Don't get the FOMO, all right? We're going to get a pullback, and the higher we go without that 3% pullback, the bigger that pullback is likely to be once we get it. That's the buying opportunity, all right? Just wait. You don't want to have to sit through a correction. The correction can last longer than you can stay solvent, or you want to be in the trade, or you're going to second guess yourself right at the bottom, close the loser, and then watch it take off and recover. All right, this is the way the market operates. It does the thing that causes the most damage to the most number of people. This is loading up the boat now. It's going to rip everybody at some point or another. All right, everybody's going to get ripped. Everybody's going to, there'll be a scant few that are prepared. Don't be one of the ones that gets ripped, please. Be careful. All right, yeah, Tesla making the list this morning, number one. It is ripping, and I'm sure a few of you probably have FOMO. Don't get the FOMO. This thing's going to pull back eventually, and I mean, look, it does wicked pullbacks. It goes fast. All right, just look back through here. All right, it's on the hype train right now. I could have told you they were going to announce record vehicle sales. I have a Cybertruck pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it years ago, and they have not sent me a single email since that reservation until Thursday. They sent me an email and said, hey, if you buy a Model 3 or a Model Y before close of business on Friday, the 30th, we're going to give you 3 months of free supercharging, unlimited charging. But you got to take delivery before close of business on Friday. So they're trying to blow out the inventory as fast as they could. I could have told you that they were gunning to set some kind of sales record, which they did. And that news came out over the weekend, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of pop here this morning. How this actually digests through the market, we'll see. We're coming out just a little bit higher than the previous high there from, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Week-ish ago, 20th. And that could be it. That could be the last little squiggle, and then we could pull back. Now, I'm going to sit here and wait for my opportunity on Tesla just because we missed that little pop. It doesn't mean that you missed anything yet. I still expect this to come back, retest the breakout before we can get the energy to go higher. Now, can it just rip on out? Sure, it can rip on out, and then it's probably likely to do a bigger retrace. So just like everything else, the patterns are the patterns, all right? TSLS dropping out. TSLQ also dropping out. And then TSLL is not making a higher high, funny enough. Interesting. So that one's not making a higher high. That's kind of, I guess maybe the dividend took a little out of it. So anyway, popping back over, S&P potentially going to break out and push higher. We've got several layers of resistance above us. If we turn down to that 45.30, that's kind of like it's my last line where if we turn down there, we can go super bearish. If we just break on through that, get on up to these upper targets, that 45.99 on the, this chart will have different numbers because this is all the candle data, not just the close data. This other one is close only, simplified, and takes a lot of the extra junk out of the chart. S5FI coming up near 80. This is the reversal point that we typically will see. Keep it in mind. We're in the 70s. 80 usually sees us at a pullback. So we may be trying to extend that right up to 80 and get the pullback in the S&P. Be careful. Things are starting to be overcooked now. The fear and greed index on CNN, definitely right up in there. Staying high, staying in the greedy zone. NDFI, we did pull back off that 80 when we hit it. We're coming right back up there again at 74. Just keep in mind, these things are getting overcooked. Now, ES, having a little trouble going higher still, and we're just starting out today, just kind of churning here. Not really breaking out in a meaningful way. Rejection going higher so far. If we break on out, 45.28 and then 45.71 on the upside off of that pullback. That's the extensions. This is kind of the high probability situation right now, is that we see that extension. Now it can turn down here and go lower, but that's what I got my eye on right there. NQ coming up not as bullish, not making that higher high so far. Not even retesting the high so far. So NQ is set up bullish, but if we turn down hard here, we can get the extension, go retest this zone down here. Just kind of cautious. Now Russell so far has been the tell, is not getting, it's found resistance right there, but it's still likely to go up here to 1955, possibly 1991. And we're just kind of seeing. Yeah. We already kind of talked about Tesla just a little bit there, Arthur. So, all right. Oil, continue to churn. Remember, we got the OPEC meeting on Wednesday. They could, could adjust what they say. But this is a downtrend, and it would not surprise me one bit if we see that final spike down and then build a reversal off of that. Now, we could also pop. We could get right up here, make kind of a corrective type wave, and then also go down again. So right now, though, this is just a sloppy sideways consolidation pattern where lower highs and higher lows. That's kind of making a wedge type pattern. Those usually don't end as my most favorable pattern in a way that is predictable. We're likely to make a move that big, either up or down. Once we get to the end of this little wedge thing, we could exceed the limits to the bottom, or we could exceed the limits to the top. Just be careful. All right. Sideways is what I expect for now, but this thing winding it up, getting tighter and tighter. Gold potentially bouncing off that roadmap line. If we break out above these levels up here around 1950, that may be the tell that we're going to take off on the next bullish type move on gold. We did hold support so far, and the target would be up here, probably out into the later year, maybe even into next year. That right there is just a projection of the last bullish move right here. Echoed right over there. Sounds like the market's open. Bitcoin just kind of churning here right at the top. That news from the SEC on Friday that but you know what, it wasn't that bad though. They actually just said we want more information. They rejected all the applications. There were like 5 different Bitcoin spot ETFs. Their applications, they kind of rejected them all and said we need more information. And you know what? ARK is actually ahead of BlackRock as far as getting theirs approved. So we'll see what happens. See who gets first dibs, and that all that's going to do is soak up a bunch of the Bitcoin. You know, they're gonna grab their chunks of Bitcoin because it's a spot, so they got to hold it. They got to hold it in a fiduciary. They're going to soak up some of the supply of Bitcoin. They're going to hold it in their funds. That reduces the supply in the market, and you know what prices do? I mean, it's just supply and demand. Simple. Ethereum showing a little strength. This is actually positive here. We're actually breaking above these highs this morning. That sets that up. If we can get above that prior high right there, that's our resistance, 2015. We get above that, probably going for the target right up here around 2288. So got my eye on that one. And if we can get the going, then Ethereum likely to pop on up there. DXY, just finding resistance at the roadmap line and pulling back a little bit. Tesla, as we talked about, announcing those record auto sales. I mean, running the promotion at the end of the month, and looks like it's rocking. Actually doing some advertising for once. TSLS, like I said, dropping. TSLL, there it goes. Now it's making the high. ASML, this one popping up a little bit, but that's still lower highs. Be careful. That probably needs a bigger retrace. FIS, that one popping up in this zone and not breaking higher highs. Still below the roadmap line. That can come up, test the roadmap line, and roll over, or we could break out. But you know, it left a gap right up here, and probably needs to go fill that at some point out in the future. Some point it'll come up here, but right now that looks pretty nasty and gnarly. Baidu getting a little pop and not going anywhere so far. Down to the roadmap line, back up. That can be the next extension. Go test the top of the neckline here. FNGU, that's FANG leverage ETNs popping up a little bit, not breaking out higher yet. That could be all it needed. I got lots of lines on the charts that I just leave on here. If we can get above that 196 area, probably sets the pace, the target to go to 214, maybe 227. SMCI, after the retrace, popping up. Let's see, run the fib. Right at the fib line. If we turn down here, we can go on down significantly. If we can break above that, close up in here today, probably going at 284 and 303 on the extension. PDD, Pinduoduo, this thing holding at the roadmap line, not looking super bullish yet. And that looks like it may get an extension lower. I don't know. That's a difficult pattern right there. Not over clear. Holding the 618. That could be a measured bounce. It's got to break above the high though to prove it to me, to indicate that's what it's doing. Targets would be right up at the prior highs though. No, not a super bullish pattern. That's why I look at that and it's like, ugh. I'm not sure on that one. NTES, right in the zone, probably gonna find resistance. I'll go test the top of the resistance. YINN, looks like that one's. It's kind of funny. The other one that was FNGU, that's not it. Nah, never mind. I don't know. That's China bull and not looking super bull. So LI. That's just sideways. I mean, it's just chopping sideways in the range. It has this range from back here, November 2020, down to the lows from October 2022, and we're just chopping inside. I mean, you could kind of say the same thing for the S&P, except the S&P doesn't look as sideways there. And when we pop up and look at that, see, we're not as choppy sideways. We're stuck in the middle here, but we're making progress. Whereas LI, looks pretty rough. CWB, more leverage crap. Be careful on this leverage stuff here. The leverage stuff, this leverage stuff just, it's dangerous. It doesn't always follow my patterns. So this one looks like it's going to go lower. AZN, ouch. Big down. Not even sure what. That one didn't make my radar this morning, but it is a big mover down. GILD, just hanging out. These last few I picked up off of StockTwits, not off of the morning movers. BHG, hanging out at the bottom. That is a healthcare situation. Be careful. Here's another. This is probably what I was thinking about when I looked at it before I went on. Yang, 3X China Bear. Not going super bullish. Look, the bullish and the bearish both look pretty rough. And it looks almost like the same chart. 3X bulls, nasty. 3X bears, nasty. I mean, it's nasty both ways. Like, that's uncertainty, if I do say so myself. And I don't trade China. I don't. It's just, they don't follow the same rules, and I've been burned so many times on opportunities. I even got to hold Luckin Coffee through the whole. Amazingly, I pulled it out at the end. They got relisted right in time for me to close my, the yin and the yang. Luckin Coffee, I got the Hail Mary at the end. They got relisted. I was able to get out for, at least break even, if not a couple bucks. And I don't trade China stuff. Like, even Baidu or Baba, I don't like to trade them. They don't play by the same rules. Rivian, looks like it's popping on Tesla, and that's a Head and Shoulders. Probably going to come up here to retest these highs, this resistance. So another couple bucks probably on that one. BAC, getting talked about on StockTwits, but not moving very much. Just consolidating the lows. That's tightening pattern. It's one of those watermelon seed squeeze situations where we have this right there coming down. We'll probably fill it on out a little bit more, then we'll pop up or pop down. The range set by the mouth over here. MNST, looks like that's coming back to the roadmap line as I drew that arrow on there a few weeks ago. All right, that's kind of the movers for the day. That's the list. And my bias for the day, I think we're probably set up to break out. I mean, I kind of expect a large pullback just based on the statistics of how long we go between pullbacks, but the chart says we're probably heading up to at least hit 45.28 before we get the next big pullback. So there you go. Tesla probably going to, it's going to run out of gas here sometime. Is that today? I don't know. Is it tomorrow? I don't know. Is it, 285 is the next resistance. Just looking at the small time frame stuff here. Pulls up the support just a little higher, making higher highs. There you go. Coin. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That one's moving. That one breaks out above 82. I've got lofty goals. 120 or 115. That prior high from right back here. 115, and then above that, this thing gets really bullish up to about 200. I am in a long-term synthetic position, looking for this bigger move. Oh yeah, that one's going to be a nice one. And that's what we got today. So, and I got my red monster today. That was I don't even know what flavor that is. I used to think it was strawberry. It's kind of berries, I guess. Summer berries. It's pretty tasty. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. We will see you later. I'm going to do 30 minutes of awesome tomorrow. I'll do a crypto special tomorrow. So come hang out. You got the day off? It's a holiday, right? So we'll see.